Hello and welcome to Comics in Quarantine Solving Problems. I'm Stephen Allen.
And I'm Eric McElroy. Hello.
Howdy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Howdy, partner.
Well, I got rid of the beard and I thought there's no point going straight out of there. I thought I'd go for, Well,
is this because I cut my hair on Tuesday? You thought, well, I'm not thinking maybe now.
I started to notice beard smell. I think beard smell. And the problem was I started to enjoy my own beard smell, and that's no way to live. So I thought I'd get rid of it, and on the way out, go via whatever this is, this kind of like Wyatt Earp style-y kind of rootin' tootin'. Yeah, it looks like we got a stranger in town. Or I also think I look like the kind of person who would try and elicit a positive response by saying, huh? I think I got that going on.
That's just racist.
There's no race established there. What is a ginger man
got
with
a racist mustache.
Huh?
I've got my cowboy hat up there. Should I send it over to you?
I don't know whether I like that. I'm not sure I should make this something that I enjoy. Otherwise, this is it. Yeah. I left some big old sides in as well, so I could do the full kind of.
Put those away.
Howdy.
I'm just jealous because I can't do. I mean, to even get that level of facial hair that you've now got, now that you've shaved everything away, we're talking about months of growth. Because when I gain, I don't gain here. I gain down here.
Oh, you have a belly beard. Interesting.
I have a belly beard.
Feels like a thing for another show.
It does. But that's not what the show is about, guys. Thank you for tuning in. What is the show about, Steve?
It's about solving problems, whether they be problems that you send through wherever you're watching this. Send us a message. We should be able to see it. You can tweet us. And there are many problems in the world that crop up in what we like to call news. So we look at news and we solve those problems as well. Because if ever you want to get problems solved, you find two comedians, one of which looks like he would try and bully you into agreeing with him by saying, huh? And that's what you need.
And I, because I've just cut my hair, I kind of look like a police officer. And they're really popular right now. So that's right. Step out of the car.
The way that our various hair situations looks like you're going to arrest me. Definitely. I should be in just a vest right now drinking energy drinks.
Oh, dear. Well, yeah. So if you've got some problems, you can send them to us during the show. We will try and solve them. But I don't think we've done this. This is our 31st episode. And I think so far we've managed not to solve any actual problems.
It's pretty good hit rate.
That doesn't mean you shouldn't try, because we've got nothing else to do, because we still can't do gigs yet. And that's why we're here. We've covered a lot of Trump, haven't we, Steve, since we got here? Oh, and before I go too far, don't forget you can share us on Facebook and other places. Let people know that we're live. I'm getting, boy, I'm telling you, it's hard to remember things, isn't it? If only there was like a cognitive test to measure how smart you are. And on Tuesday's show, was it Tuesday? Oh, I can't remember. It doesn't matter. I'm not president of the United States. We talked about Trump and his disastrous Fox News interview, and he talked about the cognitive test that he's taking. And we thought, all right, well, we've covered that story. We'll put that to rest. But then Trump was back on Fox News again yesterday. Here he is.
So the last time I was at the hospital, probably a year ago, a little less than a year ago.
Oh, God. Okay, here we go, Grandpa. Let's talk about your time in the hospital. I don't know about you, Steve, but all of my in-laws, bless them and I love them, are all a little bit older than I am. And whenever we go home to visit, the entire time is basically like, oh, I went to the doctor and I got my arrhythmia. Okay, let's just talk about that. And why don't you tell me about your mortgages and how you have health care or pension plans? I've got the health care here in the UK, so but they've got pension plans in the future. But it's like, all right, Grandpa's going to talk to us about his hospital visits. So it just proves he's just like any other old man out there. But he's going to tell us about what he did at the hospital, and it's talking about, again, that test he took. Here he goes.
I took a test. I said to the doctor, it was Dr. Ronnie Jackson, I said, is there some kind of a test, an acuity test? And he said there actually is, and he named it, whatever it might be. And it was 30 or 35 questions. The first questions are very easy. The last questions are much more difficult, like a memory question. It's like you'll go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Oh, there we go. Steve, the Trump campaign has struggled to come up with an agenda for the second term because MAGA was such an effective slogan. You know, it just was catchy. MAGA, make America great again. And now we can see the campaign has finally settled on it, and we've got it here.
It looks Welsh.
there's no vowels. PWMC TV. So, person, woman, man, camera, TV. Even I can say it. Unfortunately, those are also the nuclear codes. Now, key to this cognitive test, Steve, is that you have to be able to repeat those words, right? Which Trump does demonstrate for us in the interview, as we can see.
So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah.
Yeah, next question.
Yeah. So he goes through and he repeats them. Now, this is the point where he starts to repeat them. Now there's a little bit of drama in this interview because he's basically said you have to repeat the words exactly. So now he's got to repeat the words exactly. Because, I mean, remember Rick Perry from Texas, when he was in the debates and he said a list of things and he got stuck on not remembering the third thing, that ruined his entire presidential campaign. So now basically the stakes are so high. I mean, you can just imagine, you could see all of the Trump supporters watching this moment, and we've got them right here.
So they say, could you repeat that? So I said, yeah. So it's person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Relief. Even I was getting nervous for him. Yeah, they're so happy. They're so happy. But you know what? They'll never win because those are English supporters. But he goes. What's interesting though is he goes through the list again, and I love watching him go through this list. It's just this is the third time now that he's actually going through it in the interview. Let's play this now. Watch how he does this.
Remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person, woman, man, camera, TV.
Can you see it?
Yeah.
He's just naming the things that are in front of him. And just play it again, because I want to show you something else. But he gets to the...
Remember the first question? Not the first, but the 10th question? Give us that again. Can you do that again? And you go person,
there's a person.
woman, man,
There's a woman, man.
camera, TV.
Camera.
You have to look for the camera. He couldn't remember. He paused. Camera. There it is. Now, the Biden campaign had a response to the interview, and we have that reaction here.
I'm Joe Biden, and I approve this message.
Nice. It's great right from the start when he talks about the test and actually says, I can't remember what it's called. That's got to cost you some points, hasn't it, on a memory test?
Oh, God. It's just he can't leave it alone. That's the problem, because he was so criticized for Sunday's interview that he has to go back to it, and he won't let it drop. And the whole point is to prove that Biden isn't with it. I don't think it's working for him.
Yeah, I love it, naming things that you can see. That's the level of creative genius we're dealing with. Beautiful.
That is it. He's president of the United States. What can I say?
Could well be again. Watch this space for more on that. Thank you for some of your comments coming through on this. So if you've got any of the topics, if you've got a solution to Trump's truth, send that to us and we'll sell it on. Stephen says, your new facial hair makes you look like how I imagine Lemmy's accountant brother might look. It's got that. Right, a bit of a biker, but I'm still... This is why I wore the ridiculous floral one that doesn't go with anything, just because I needed to offset how much I look like I should be some sort of a villain. A nice floral tie.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you do... It is kind of a... You could be a biker. You could be a 70s porn star. You've got some different directions you can go with this.
I tell you what, the eyebrow raising, which... there's another eyebrow raising event later on in today's show to look out for, because I've got that one skill. But it looks better with a tash.
Oh yeah, definitely, because then you get a little bit of the rising of the tash as well. So, but the nice thing is where by leaving some on there, you can sort of trim it back and do different looks, because you can go like the Magnum PI, a little shorter is definitely porn star, and a little shorter you might want to skip that step.
Yeah, but I'm definitely doing tash for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, definitely. See how long that goes.
Keep the comments coming through wherever you get them, wherever you can spot them. And also, if you enjoy any part of the show enough where you'd think afterwards, I'd buy those lads a drink. Send the drink money here. It'd be very much appreciated. It pays for all of the manscaping that I'm going through right now. It also pays for the masks. I want to do a mask update. This is a big, important mask day.
Right.
Because the rules are coming in, and I want to go through... A lot of the newspapers today have had detailed analysis of the rules. For example, where you have to now wear a mask in the UK. Face coverings must be worn in the following places. Banks and building societies. I like that, because in the old days, if you went in a bank with a mask on, they would have called the police. These days, other way around. Especially if you go into the bank with facial hair like this. They're calling the police. Shops and supermarkets, yeah, that makes sense. That's the big one people have been talking about. Post offices, no one cares. Honestly, my local post office, as soon as the coronavirus lockdown kicked in, they changed their opening hours from 7 in the morning till 9 in the morning, 2 days a week.
What?
Thanks for that. So I'll just not get my parcels, shall I? Thanks. Yeah, cheers. Takeaway restaurants, that was an interesting one. Cafes is an interesting one as well. What? Hey, you've got to keep your mask on when you're going for a coffee.
What?
People are going to be wearing an awful lot of their food and drink from those places. Interesting stats.
Yeah. If you get the right kind of mask, maybe it can just act as like a coffee filter.
Yeah, pour it in the top. Good idea, actually. Yeah. Then there are various rules that we've been told about. For example, exceptions to the rules: you don't have to wear one if you're putting it on. Wearing it or removing it will cause you distress. I would add to that, if putting it on, wearing it, or removing it causes you to write a column for the Telegraph, just go ahead and don't. I'm fine with you catching the disease to spare us having to read some bullshit about muzzles. To eat or drink, only if you need to. That's how they worded it, you cheeky boggers. Do you need that pie? Piss off.
Oh, yeah. I've noticed I'm on a diet.
To take medication, it's great. You can take your mask off when you're shooting up. And this one, if you are traveling with or providing assistance to someone who relies on lip reading service to communicate. Now, no, again, why don't you go to my Amazon page? We're trying to sell merch, and you can buy the Stephen Allen patented, there you go, lip readable facial mask. There you go. People can see what's going on. Like that. People can see. I'm not sure if that's technically lip reading. And also this mask, if you need to go into a bank and you don't want people to see your facial hair that makes you look like a criminal, you wear this.
That's nice. And it fits more snugly now that you've shaved off the...
Doesn't it? Works so much better. Other rules that we've got to stick to, they say don't put it in your pocket, which honestly I do. I didn't realise that was a rule. I was walking around like Mr. Cool. Like I got a mask in my pocket and I'll whip it out whenever I want. Boom. Yeah. Protection. Never leave home without it. There's this rule as well. Do not touch your face coverings. Now, I think what they should have said is, don't touch your face coverings when you've put it on. Because otherwise, it's going to be very difficult. Trying to put your face covering on without touching it is the kind of thing that's going to turn into some sort of stupid lad's drunken thing to do on a night out. A bit like this.
Yep.
All right, lads, what we do for this one, right? You get your face mask, but you can't touch it. You've got to get it on your face. Last one to do it buys your hands. Right, here we go. Ready? Go. Oh. Hang on. Nearly got it. Nearly got it. Nearly. Yeah. Hey. If my pants are on my head, then...
Nice.
I got through a lot of masks today.
You got to make sure you keep the masks in the right place now. If you've been sticking them, when it said don't put them in your pocket, I think it meant shove
my pants
into
instead.
Your pants.
Yeah, a little banana hammock.
That is a good question. If we're not supposed to put them in our pocket, where are we supposed to carry them around on? Because I've seen people do they've had the mask on and then they just leave it hanging off their ear, which I'm sure that's a good choice, but it just makes you look like a dipshit. I'm sorry. Yeah. I mean, Biden was pictured just doing a speech like that the whole time, and it's like you look like you got a dangly earring.
Yeah, it looks like it's the facial equivalent of walking out of the toilet with bog rollers still attached to you. I don't know how it just looks wrong.
It's not right. It's not right. But you're going to be masking up when you go out into shops and things?
But I am running out, yeah, because I've cut a hole in this one for a silly joke and also crammed another one down my pants, which meant I threw that one out straight away, just in case. As much as I'm not afraid of, I'm not afraid of little pants. I put some pants on my head for that sketch. I'm not walking to the shops and then halfway down the street realising, nope, these ones, yep. So, yeah, I'm running out quickly. And it's tricky because if you run out, sorry, I just realised, if I run out of masks, what am I going to do? I can't go to the shops to buy some more masks because I can't go in the shop without getting a mask, which I don't have because I've not been able to get into the shop to buy them.
Yeah. Well, they say when they train you about having a dog, and that you have to legally have doggy bags with you all the time. If you don't have your doggy bag with you, the instructor told us from doggy school that you should use a sock.
Ugh. Oh, God.
So you don't have your mask. Just take off one of your socks, tie it around your face, and then you'll breathe fine.
Although episode 1, I put a pair of my pants over my head and showed how they could be an appropriate face covering, and I'd have a pair of those with me. So, you know, needs must.
There you go. Taking them off to put them on your face could cause you some problems in the shop.
You'd be right around here. Seymour on YouTube says you could pass as Rufus Hand's father. What do you mean father? I think it's same age. Git.
I think Rufus is older than you.
Yeah, I mean, I know I've aged badly. Huh?
That's good. I'm just trying to check, see if I can get any comments coming in here.
Do you have to wear one if you're using public toilets? I would, because I think you can catch it from a toilet seat.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
If you're going to rub your face on it, definitely.
Yep, definitely. And I've seen a few drinks come through, so thank you very much for those guys. We very much appreciate your support, because that's what gives us hope and allows Steve to keep buying masks that he destroys for his art.
For the stupid-ass jokes that we get through. Beautiful. Yeah, keep the comments coming through, and we'll keep trying to solve some problems.
Yes. Well, this is an ongoing problem in America. There is still social unrest related to the Black Lives Movement matter, and which is understandable. Some of the protests have turned a little bit violent in cases, which of course Trump is using to basically say that all these people are agitators and violent and scum and all this kind of thing. So his campaign has really fixed on this. And there was a lot of heat around this one particular tweet, which I think we have a screenshot of here. This would be Joe Biden's America. It's a very scary place. This is one of Trump's campaign people. I don't know what he is. And this is the clip that he tweeted. I think we've got that lined up for us after this here. And it shows some bad scenes there. There's some graffiti on a federal building. There's some violence going around. You know, it's not good stuff. I mean, peaceful protest is definitely the way to go. I think people have, need to be saying these things and need to be standing up for their rights. However, that just happened this week, didn't it? Now let's go back and look at that tweet again. This guy is basically saying this would be Joe Biden's America. It's a very scary place. A lot of people on Twitter knows, no, it's actually right now, it's Donald Trump's America, you dipshit. You're basically saying this is what's happening right now. It's a very scary place.
Brilliant.
Yes, it has been since 2016. Thanks, Mega. So, I mean, it's just insane. But to set aside that, there was something that I quite enjoyed about this particular protest. I think we've got another shot of the same tweet that he sent out, another part of the video here. Look at they're rallying there. I don't know if you can see what they're holding there, Steve. The protesters on the right side of the screen.
Yeah.
They're coming forward and protecting themselves. They're fighting with umbrellas.
Wow.
Yes, I know. To be fair, this is in Portland, which does, per year, get on average 156 days of rain, which is more than the UK, little wimpy 133. So this is my part of the world that I came from, which was my preparation to live in the United Kingdom. I'm always like, why isn't it raining more? But that's what the protesters are fighting with. They're umbrellas. And we did get a chance to have a look at the protest leader. There she is.
Bad times. Scary.
I mean, if you hadn't seen these images before the show, Steve, you've known me long enough, you would have known that that's where I was going with this, wouldn't you?
You love a Mary Poppins joke.
I love a Mary Poppins joke.
All the comedy we've ever done. Don't know why you think that sounds... Even when you're trying to do an impression of someone doing a British accent badly, like the most famous example of a bad example of a British accent, somehow you're still different and bad. I don't get it. It's brilliant.
That's what you sound like.
Oh, God. How dare you? How dare you? Right. Keep the messages coming through. Anthony says, remember in 2016 how crazy we thought people were who wanted to move to Mars? Is it too late to sign up? It is. And also, you'd have to sit there wearing a face mask. Have you seen how miserable people look when they're on EasyJet flights at the moment? Yeah. Imagine that, but it takes 8 months to get there. So it's very much like EasyJet. But, oh, yeah, it's truth. And hello to Sophie, who just sent some nice smiley crying faces. Thank you.
Crying for the right reasons.
You know what? We'll take any response we can these days. In this world of not being allowed to do gigs, so we have to sit here and do this kind of web TV thing.
Happy cry. It's the happy cry.
Yeah. And if you want to chip in and buy us a drink, which doesn't necessarily always go in coffee, it might go on razors and shaving foam. I don't know who I might be thinking of there.
Yep.
Then chip in. That would be very much appreciated.
Yes.
Right, we can move on to solve another problem.
Yeah.
So we recently talked about Russia. The Russia report came out. If you watched last episode 30, we did a whole big thing on that. And so what's been the latest news since then? Well, we're toughening up. Boris Johnson announced that there could be some moves to just make things a little bit harder for Russia to try and interfere with us. They're going to crack down on spies. And here's the headline. The UK could force foreign spies to register on a government list. Now, I no longer know what spying is. Because I thought I knew it was like top secret, secret agent, undercover, these kind of words. Not anymore. Apparently you have to walk into a place, go, hi everyone, I'll be your spy for today. Don't mind me, just doing some spying. Just what's going on with there? Can I have those details? Apparently not, because I'm a spy. I always wanted to be a spy when I was growing up, because I thought it was cool. You know, you see all the films, they're all spies and top secret stuff, and God, James Bond was, I love watching those films. If spies have to register, James Bond will be ruined.
Ah, Mr. Bond, I've been expecting you, because you filled in the requisite paperwork and emailed ahead of time your schedule.
Do you expect me to talk?
No, Mr. Bond, I expect you to do admin.
No one wants to watch that film anymore. Although, to be fair, you know, I like to put forward a case for and against. So it will ruin the James Bond films in some way, but if we have a lot of paperwork and therefore we can trace what spies are who and all that business, it will actually make it easier for people like Q.
Now, pay attention, 007. I have some essential equipment for your latest mission.
Is it a pen that explodes?
No.
Is it a hat that turns into a helicopter?
No.
Then what is it?
It's this lanyard.
And there was the eyebrow-raising Roger Moore. Oh, by the way, who was that beardy bastard acting in that sketch?
I know. Couldn't even tell. And look at that. Look at the. I knew they were going to go a different direction with the new Bond. The Ginger Bond.
The Ginger Bond.
I don't think that will ever be acceptable to anyone.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure for Idris to do it, for it to be any woman, but no one is saying it's about time we had a Ginger Bond. And that
just come out, you know, stop the speeding car with the roof down to put on factor 50.
Oi, my people. Chris Curling says, are you auditioning for the new 118 ads? I've got your number.
We would take any work right now. Does 118 still exist?
I think it does actually. Yes, I think those numbers exactly. I mean, it's something ridiculous. I remember there was a news story about how expensive those things were. So it eventually ends up being like £3 to call them and then £1 a minute for their services.
Oh, God, I remember you calling them. Yes, it was horrific.
And you think that's terrible. But these days you think, well, there's only 2 people making those phone calls. If you don't Google it, then do you know what? Yeah, you're keeping a business afloat. It's the only thing in this economy, so go for it.
I would take that work if I could get it.
Have a look. The spies in that riot clip with the poison-tipped umbrellas. Yes.
Poison-tipped? That's why they're such hooligans. Donald Trump is right.
Yeah. But imagine if you were a spy and you had to turn up with all that kit. So the exploding pen, the polonium, the botulism in the end of your umbrella, all of those gadgets. The COSH form would be the health and safety if you have to register. Oh,
if you have to declare all of that, that would be insane. So, and thank you very much. We had a couple drinks come through, so that is absolutely lovely to see. So you can, whatever you want to chuck our way is fine. Anything, with 5 or 6 digits in it, is perfectly acceptable.
Just imagine you've called up and we gave you a number.
118. 118.
Lovely.
All of it. Right. So now this one, Steve, a lot of times we take our time in editing these things and putting together a lot of thoughts, and we put together clips and videos, and because we want to deep dive into a subject, and we enjoy doing this. This one, I'm going to show you a photo, and I don't want to be one of those ranting kind of comedians like that. We both, there's some comedians that just go on rants, and they can be very funny, but it just gets a bit tiresome. But this photo made me want to be one of those people. So let's look at the photo. I want to see it again. This was, fuck's sake. I don't know what is going on here. I mean, so this is Boris in Scotland trying to bring the Union together, and he looks like he's about to take those two crabs and smash them together. Just like, yes, I will unite us all. So there's that. He's wearing gloves, which is good. He should wear protection because, I mean, let's be honest, he's had enough kids. And
should wear a mask, but that's a different issue, I guess.
That's different. He should be wearing a mask. And then look at his tie. There's a reason why.
Struth. Yeah,
Look at, bring it back to my tie here, Steve. Look at that. This is the little thing there. You take this part of the tie and you loop it in there, and it tidies the look.
Look at him with his Thomas Nash. What have I got here? Yep, Primark.
I have to say, 31 episodes. I've worn a different tie every show. I used to. I don't know why. I still have a lot of ties. I don't know why. I mean, maybe because I'll have to get a job.
Here it is. Bought this one from the Stevenage branch of Primark. Remember it well.
I did just do this whole bit so I could show where my ties are. Anyway, but
one of us needs your donations much more than the other. Can you guess?
I mean, how does Boris get away with being in photos like this? I mean, he has been the most, because normally, like, the rule in America, like, Michael Dukakis allegedly lost the presidential race in 1988 because he put on a helmet and rode around in a tank and looked ridiculous, right? Yeah. He was winning that election, or was that 80? No, yeah, it was 88. And so the rule has been, like, never wear a hat. Boris Johnson goes down a zip line with a helmet on. He goes in he runs into a freezer when reporters are trying to ask him questions. I just... You know, and he's standing there thinking, oh, I'm bringing Scotland and the UK, we've done so well to fight COVID together. Yeah. We've had the worst death rate in Europe, and we're not even in Europe anymore.
That's pretty bad. To have the worst death rate in Europe when you're not in Europe. Apparently, we also have the worst death rate in South America. So, wow. Just because people are filling in forms wrong.
And I mean, for Boris to lecture us about unions, I mean, I wonder how his wives feel about that. Just his brother didn't even stay with him in a family union with the Brexit debate. I can't, Steve. I'm broken.
Anthony says not the first time Boris had to deal with having crabs. Nice. Yeah. Very nice. I also think. Oh, hang on. Seymour says getting ready for the live-action SpongeBob SquarePants stage show. Nice. I think the bigger problem here. Yes, you're right to complain about Boris, about his tie, about the lack of masks, about the fact that I don't know what he's doing with these two crabs. It seems like some sort of Japanese sex show. I'll Google it later. But the bigger question, and this was on the BBC. This picture. Yeah. I think the BBC need to stop employing 5-year-old photographers because. He's not that tall, is he? He looks like a beast.
Yeah.
The crab monster's coming out. So maybe stop having miniature photographers.
Stop
trying to upskirt Boris.
Did they make that illegal? Maybe not for him. He's in Scotland. Maybe he was wearing a kilt. I mean, I think Boris because we've been focused a lot on COVID and on Trump and on the Black Lives Matter and on face masks and British cups of tea. There's a lot of good things that you can watch back about this show. Mm-hmm. If only there was an opportunity to do that. Maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yeah.
But Boris has gotten off fairly lightly. So I think that's something we got to think about going forward.
Okay, we'll do more. I reckon we'll do more Boris when maybe there'll be a reinventing of this show soon. Maybe there won't. Who knows? I know you do. You know, but no one knows. Stephen says, "I am just about to release a single called Sex Tash. What kind of image do you recommend I could have to help me promote it? So you're looking for someone who's looking for work, who might help out with Sex Tash. If you want to get some sponsorship in there as well.
Yeah.
Is that doing it? That turning you on?
Maybe I should sell my ties. That's what I should do. All right. I think we've got time for one more story, Steve. Is that right?
Yes. Brilliant. Conspiracy theories. I don't know if the Bishop's watching tonight. He loves a good conspiracy theory. Lots of people who message in the boards afterwards, the comments afterwards, love a conspiracy theory. Bill Gates has been linked to a lot of them. Bill Gates apparently is trying to put computer chips inside us all, and that's why he created coronavirus and blah, 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 blah. He was interviewed about this. Let's go through some of the clips.
I've been the subject of a disinformation campaign. In fact, the posts on social media about you and coronavirus are considered the most widespread coronavirus falsehoods that exist.
That's saying something. So that is more widespread than 5G's causing it. That's more widespread than it was a bat that was working in a lab in Wuhan. More widespread than it's a flat Earth and this is done to kill off everyone who thinks that it's circular or global. This is more widespread than you can catch it from a toilet seat. I don't think it is, because we talked about that on this show just tonight.
Yeah.
So the conspiracy theory is that, he's using this. He created this virus and he's putting chips inside us all. It continued.
To be clear, do you want a vaccine so that you can implant microchips into people?
No, there's no connection between any of these vaccines and any tracking type thing at all. I don't know where that came from.
I hate to be that conspiracy theorist, but he effectively said, no, the urge to give you a vaccine is in no way linked to my desire to put chips in you all. They are totally independent. The vaccine has absolutely nothing to do with the Windows controlling your brain program, which will be done through microchips. They are. I don't know where this even came from. What, Miss Piggy?
Sound like me.
Yeah. The interview continued.
And yet there was a poll by YouGov and Yahoo that shows 44% of Republicans, 19% of Democrats, and 24% of independents think that you want to do that.
And the message is, stop asking people. Christ, did you not learn anything from 2016? Why would we want to know what loads of people on the internet think utter rubbish? And it doesn't mean we should pay any attention. Over the last just over a week, loads of people on the internet thought that the picture on the right was a dad bod. Piss off. That's how much people know. I'm having none of it. The interview continues like this.
Our foundation is about reducing death and, bringing equity to health. And yet the idea that, we get accused of creating, chips.
That one got me, though. I did think, wait a minute, you did create chips. I mean, you're the reason there's computers in everyone's home. This internet show, which hopefully you watch most weeks, is now based on 3 laptops surrounding me. Eric's got at least 2 going on. 5 computers. We've all got phones in it. But then I realised, okay, maybe he didn't make the chips, just to get a little bit nerdy. Even though Microsoft gives us the software, the hardware often comes from a different company, and most of the chips that were in his machines were actually made by Intel. Fuck me.
Still there.
Still happens every time you say it. Weird, isn't it? So he comes up with an idea of how he can put all of this to bed.
I think we just need to get the truth out there. We need to explain our values.
No, it's never going to work, is it? I mean, it's like he's never been on the internet before. You find people on the internet who believe something, explain things logically to them. No, they'll just continue to dribble. No one cares about logic. Just try and... I think you've got to fight fire with fire. You've got to meet this with a conspiracy theory type argument. And I would say this to you. If you believe that Bill Gates is trying to put computer chips in us all to control us all, if you think he's got the ability to orchestrate this kind of conspiracy, why isn't the Microsoft Edge browser actually doing better? Because I know, Eric, you don't use Windows stuff, but for us Windows users, we've recently had an update, and all that update seems to have done is reinstall Microsoft Edge browser, put a shortcut to it on the desktop, and link it to the taskbar yet again. And yet the most common thing that the Edge browser is used for is to search for the phrase download Chrome. So I'm sorry, Bill, but I used your Edge browser, and I even Googled on Bing to find out how to download Chrome. If he had any ability, we wouldn't have to do that.
Yeah. Clearly, he doesn't understand the internet. Bless him.
Seymour says Elon Musk has denied that he's an alien this week. Has Bill? That's true. Bill hasn't denied he's an alien, so...
Definitely the next time he's interviewed on CBS, they need to ask him about that after they've covered the chips.
Why do people worry that Bill Gates can chip people when he can't even get Windows 10 to work? Anthony, yes!
I have to say, when you told me you were doing this story, I was really disappointed in the course of it now not to see a paperclip.
Yeah, so one of the original versions was for me to edit the paperclip from Word to do a joke about, it looks like you're trying to have free thought. Let's stop that. And... I realized I got it all going, and I realized that's a reference from the late 90s. What am I doing?
So what? It's a 20-year-old joke.
I did a joke about Microsoft Edge. That Windows update happened for people like over the last 2 weeks. That's on the flip. This is topical comedy, mate. That's what we need, jokes about Microsoft Edge.
I gave even though I'm from Seattle, where Bill Gates is allegedly from.
Space.
I went off Microsoft. I'm sorry.
Well, I mean, do you know what? I'm normally a Linux user, but one of the smaller laptops, Linux suddenly stopped working. Couldn't read the root drive, and then I tried to reinstall Windows 10, and it flipping worked. So
no one knows what you're talking about. Right.
I downloaded you can get a script that debloats Windows 10, because I'm sorry, Cortana, I've got enough computers pretending to be women listening to me. I don't need Cortana. I've got Siri and Google Home. Alexa's trying to catch in on the action. Cortana can bugger right off.
We've done live shows, we've done radio shows, you've been on national television, and it's like a trigger with you. You're like, oh, geek alert. Anyway.
Yeah, technology.
Right, Steve. We run a little bit over time. This is the end of our 31st episode. We're going to be doing something different in the next 2 weeks. We're still going to be broadcast on Tuesdays and Thursdays at 9 o'clock in the UK. But it's going to be a little different, isn't it?
Yeah, I thought what we'd do is take a stroll through memory lane. So we've got 30 episodes of content of various things, of us overdubbing things, acting with ourselves, wearing glasses for no good reason as if that makes me look like a different character in a sketch, all of that kind of stuff. So what we're going to do is pick some of our favourite moments.
That's right. It's going to be the highlights of the best of comics in quarantine, solving problems, or at least the clips that we edited together that we enjoyed, tickled us. And we're going to be rolling those out over the next 2 weeks on Tuesdays and Thursdays with original content as well, mixed in there just to keep things fresh and funny. Yeah. And then when we come back after that 2 weeks, we're going to be maybe making little tweaks to the show. Maybe looking around because, we're a little bit less quarantine-y these days. So that might require some changes. And we like to just keep things fresh, keep things updated. We're also going to be part of the Edinburgh Free Festival online, which is happening.
We're doing flipping Edinburgh.
Yeah, so we're doing Edinburgh, and we'll still manage to lose money, even though we're not going there.
we are. Or as Stephen Leatherdale just calls it, we're keeping Microsoft comedy edgy. Yeah. Oh, we could probably get more funding if we deliberately did this as a nerdy tech show.
Probably, you're right. But yes, so check that out. So you can keep watching the show because it's going to be different stuff. And we would imagine you've not seen every episode. If you have, Jesus, wow.
Also, I do plan on putting extra discussion about what it was like to make the show, especially from the early days when we had no clue how to knock any of this stuff together. And we'll talk about what it was, the journey, because it's about the journey, not the destination.
Yep, 15 weeks of lockdown and making the show. But in the meantime, you're welcome to buy us a drink if you've enjoyed what you've watched tonight at any point. Just chuck us a quid, although I say that. And then my mother was watching the show and she's like, what's a quid? And I told her it was $10. Nice. Yeah. So feel free to do that if you like. Subscribe, like us on Facebook, do all those kinds of things. And I don't know, is there anything else to say, Steve?
Not really, other than apologise to Bill Gates in case he will be our new overlord, in the same way that we apologise to Huawei because this goes through a Huawei router. Basically, we want to stay on everyone's good side, and join us on Tuesday for more of this comedy type fun.
Thank you very much. Yeah. See you later.
Till then.
Bye.